Hello, welcome back to the channel. How are you doing? Anyway, today I want to talk about sharing your insight in life. I know it's a bit difficult, but especially for people who are very, very shy. The truth is, from what I observed in the real life, because I'm in my 40s now, right? I just started my 40 and I realized that young people are oversharing their insight about the world, which they have all rights to do. But the older generations are really quiet about it. Even if the older generations of women who shared their insight after they have lived for so long, it is usually the one that are incompetent, that are very noisy and trying to tell people what to do. And the people who actually have gathered a lot of lessons, a lot of insight, a lot of experiences about the world are the ones that usually are not really confident in speaking their mind, not really confident in speaking about their experiences. The one that don't really talk badly about other people or don't talk freely about anything. And I find myself to be extremely annoyed because we have this culture now where we have noises and we have information, but they're practically useless because they're coming from people who don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're talking about, and basically bluffing their way out of life. And with the young people, I understand how you feel because I feel like you're definitely feeling very confident about your life and what you're saying or what you're trying to teach out there. Or the people, I'm talking about the people who are trying to teach um, about life lessons and everything. And I definitely admire you guys and I definitely listen to you guys a lot, especially on TikTok. But I also kind of have to put a break on that, like put a break on the thought of trying to follow whatever they say mindlessly, because I realized, like, I remember when I was their age in my 20s and I was trying to launch my own life coaching business. And I realized, like, back then, why the older people were very skeptical about what I said, even though what I said was substantial and I still hold on to it to these days. But I realize it's because your life haven't started yet. You haven't really met a very significant, prolonged suffering. And this world really values that prolonged suffering, unfortunately. And if it's definitely the true path of who you are and what you're doing, then maybe in 20 years that you will still uh, preaching about the same thing, that I think people will start looking your way. But if it's just a fad, something that you just wanted to do because everyone else is doing it right now, everyone is into, law of attraction, trying to manifest $1 million, manifest $10 billion, but it's not something that you actually want, but it's something that is currently popular, and then maybe it's not going to work out because it doesn't come from a genuine place of trying to help people. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's personal wish, I suppose. I personally wish, I guess, people, women that are have a lot more experiences, people who are a lot more humble, speak more about their experiences because I think they are more valuable. And I think older women, especially, they hold on to this trait of popularism and they still have the high school girl club mentality of like, oh, I'm popular. I don't talk to you. We don't talk to people who are not popular on this table. We only have lunch with people who are popular. which I feel like if you are over 40s or over 30s, that should not apply anymore. Maturity should be set in. Your frontal lobe should be developed by now. And that should not be part of your equation of talking and socializing. Some kind of maturity needed to be there now. But that's my opinion. And I feel like I really wanted to hear more from people who have had a lot of experiences. And not just people that are yapping a lot, but more people that actually have the experiences and what they went through. I think I wanted to hear more from people who, more from women who are in their 70s now, retired, but have spent a lot of time in their professional uh, life trying to build something better, or have worked in a corporate setting for decades, and kind of want to hear their say about it, because I think it's important, especially as women now, the younger generation. We are expected to work. We are not like the older generation, where there are some expectations. When you get married, you settle down, you don't work, right? Unless you don't marry, so you keep going and work. Of course, like, their philosophy and what they learned might not be really useful in this day and age. But I think the essence of the grit, or the emotional experiences, or the growth experiences would be beneficial to hear, in how to handle conflicts, and how to handle politics, especially when it's really strongly a boys' club, back in the days. And how do they manage to do that? And how do they feel? How do they finesse their way out of being oppressed, for example? I think it's useful to do. So I feel like that's probably something, especially as a middle aged woman, that I needed to hear more, like a guidance about the future, about how to navigate the future. But we don't really get a lot of those. I do listen to a few of older women's on TikTok, but not a lot. Especially, I think, like, it's like, life advice is great, but I think work advice is better. For me anyway, personally, in my head. Because the way our body works, especially as female, is not the same as men, and therefore the advice needs to be different, because the way men reach success or reach financial freedom is very different than a woman, because it's a different culture, it's different life, and it's just very different. And I think as a young woman, you can succeed in life by using the kind of map, like by using the outlines of a man's outline to succeed. Because when you're young, you don't have kids, you don't have problems, women's problem, like perimenopause, or autoimmune diseases, a lot of them, unless you are like neurodivergent like me and are exposed to autoimmune condition like me as well. But that's not really obvious until a bit older. So when you're younger as a woman, you definitely can play the same playbook of a man, because your body haven't really shown you the problem of being a woman yet. Maybe I'm being jaded about all of this, but that's my opinion. I do wish that that would happen a lot more, so that I can have more information about how to navigate the world in a more practical sense. Anyway, enough yapping today. If you guys watched to this far, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Also, want to say I'm Valerie. I'm a solopreneur here. I'm living in Sydney, Australia. And this year I will just be yapping a lot, and hopefully you guys come along for the journey. And yeah, share about what you're going through as well. I'll see you guys later. Or check out my links in my description box, because I sell stuff. So if you want to check out what I offer in the internet, you can check it out. Anyway, bye everyone.